Let's learn Pleiade HC, the place to be to develop your skills and grow your potential. So today's video is a little bit more life coaching and a little bit less on the practical stuff, which is still important. I mean, the information I give on permits and the market and so forth, very essential for people who want to look for a job and want to understand the economy. But today was a little bit more the practical thing around the emotional backbone, which is just as important as working in the external factors. So what do I mean by building up an emotional backbone? Well, there's three things I want to share with you today that will help you get a stronger, more motivated, more resilient type of individual. So the first thing is really to stop comparing yourself to others. And this is extremely difficult in today's market because we are bombarded every day with interruptions, with social media, etc. So it becomes very, very difficult to know actually where you stand in life in general, especially if you're a student or you're watching this video, you're more of a millennial and you're a bit confused about what you want and what's your value and what kind of career, etc. It's not surprising because we're so distracted with information all over the place that I think it's making us more confused. I mean, in the end, it's a little bit like a grocery store. The more aisles that you have with food, the less you shop. I know that's what happens to me. If I go to a shop and there's too many things out there, I just don't shop because I don't know what I want anymore. So it's the same with everything. So if you open your social networks and you have tons of information everywhere, you're probably completely confused. You don't even know where you're looking for a job anymore. And if you are looking for a job. So the first thing is really to try to cut yourself off. It's a little bit of effort, but turn off the phone, turn off social media, focus on what you want. I have a great ebook called My Career to work on your skills assessment, to understand what you want in life. That's going to help you build your emotional backbone, is knowing you as a person. What is important to you? What matters to you? What have you always wanted to do since you were a child? And if you don't know this, it's because you haven't spent enough time with the most important person, which is you. So again, this constant distraction, this constant bombardment everywhere with people and stuff and all that is not helping building up the emotional backbone. So spend some time with yourself, cut yourself off from social media, really think through, and that's more internal work, what is important to you and what you want. That's going to help you in general. Number two is build up your profile. So once you understand a little bit more what you want, you need to build up your profile to feel good about yourself. So if you want to look for a job in a specific country, but you haven't even gone to the country, you don't even know what the economy is like, you don't know how many resources you need, so you're basically ignorant about the country, you're not going to be in a strong position. And I'll give you the example of what happened to me recently. I was traveling and I was in a country where I didn't speak the language, I did not know so much the culture. I can tell you, you're not going to feel the strongest, the most, that you bring the most value if you can't even understand the local language. You need someone to translate everything for you. This is not putting you in your strong kind of position. So this is something to be aware of. And again, because I speak English in most countries, I can navigate. But there are some countries when English is not spoken or not very well, and if you don't understand the local language, that's already putting you 5 or 6 steps below because you're not able to communicate effectively with people, meaning you have less impact. So think about that. Think about, how you position yourself in that country, how much you know about that country. That's going to make you a stronger person in general. So that's number two. Number three is you need a plan. It's very much impossible to think you can achieve something without having a plan. Everyone in life, there's no such thing as luck. I mean, luck for me is being at the right place at the right time. But in order to do that, that probably means that at some point you understood where the big players were in your field and you put yourself there. So that's not luck. That's a plan. So if tomorrow, for example, I want to work in pharma, let's say. So I want to work in pharma. I know nothing about pharma. My goal is to get a job there. So, it's not going to be luck that I happen to walk down the street in Geneva and someone is going to offer me a job in pharma. What I'm going to do is think about, okay, which conference is coming up in pharma? Okay, there's one in Zurich. where the big players are going to be. I'm going to purchase a ticket, I'm going to go there and maybe sit in a specific forum there and sit at a table where there's going to be some people there. So if I happen to meet someone there that's a good resource for me, that's not luck. You can't say, oh, she was lucky. She was lucky she sat in a forum specifically for pharma where there's all the pharma players. That's not luck. That's because I purchased the ticket, I went online, I planned it, I booked my ticket, I booked my plane, and I went to Zurich. So you see how you have to get out of your head that things happen out of luck. Everyone that's successful in life, it's because they've made some steps to put themselves in the right city, with the right environment, with the right people, and then an opportunity came out of that. But you can't really say, oh, because tomorrow I'm going to walk down the streets in Geneva, I'm going to find a job. That's not realistic. So if you have a goal, whether it's to work in Geneva or it's to work wherever it is, make a plan out of it and invest in yourself. So if you want to find a job in pharma in Switzerland, book that ticket and book that conference where you're going to be exposed to the right people. That's how you find a job. So I hope this was helpful. You need this emotional backbone, especially nowadays where things are quite shaky. So if you have questions, again, post down below. Thanks.